If you observe closely, you may have noticed these events happening. Ever wonder what's causing them? Meanwhile, have you been experiencing burnout or having too many mental tasks recently? What's the astrology behind this? Hello everyone. Welcome to Astro Reader PH and thanks for dropping by for some astrology. In this video, we're going to go over the astrological updates for the week of November 29th to December 5th for all signs. So this week we have some eye of the storm energy because this week we'll have some sort of calmness that precedes a storm of events. That's because this is the last void week of the void period before the solar eclipse, as I've mentioned in my past weekly updates. So this week we'll also see the start of some new major turnarounds of events because we're entering a new chapter with the coming of the solar eclipse in Sagittarius on December 4th. I'll be making a separate video on that. Now, on to our updates. First off, as I said, we're wrapping up the events of the past solar eclipse in Gemini that begun on June 2021. This solar eclipse should be effective from June to the present. Since then, you probably observed that you took a step back from thinking of the big picture to focus more on your day-to-day life. Mercury rules Gemini, so there's a lot of Mercury energy in the past couple of months. You probably got a little busier with your mental tasks like business, communication, writing, documents, practicing your skills, short distance travels, errands, work, and productivity matters. Those days are about to come to an end. A new solar eclipse is at hand, coming this December 4th. So before that happens, we're being called to wrap up our mental activities from the past couple of months. So as I keep saying in my weekly updates, we're still in this void period, so it's best to focus on wrapping up rather than starting new projects until December 4th. Interestingly, Mercury is also combust as we speak. I forgot to mention this in last week's video, so I had to put it in a comment there. So what happens during a combustion is a planet gets too close to the sun, so that planet tends to go combust, or there's an overdrive of energy, an explosion of sorts. It can be unstable somehow. As we've mentioned, Mercury rules mental tasks like communication, documents, business, errands, and the like. So this week will continue the explosion of those activities in your life. I find this interesting in the spirit of wrapping up the Gemini eclipse. It almost feels like before we let this energy go, we have an encore of it, a last push of sorts. So if you're experiencing an explosion of busy energy relating to wrapping up certain things, that's probably the reason why. Next, we're ushering in the solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Meanwhile, another set of energies is brewing. Before the solar eclipse on December 4th, Neptune will be going direct on December 1. We've discussed this in past week's videos. Finally, rest is coming. So if you've been burnt out in the past couple of weeks, if rest has been elusive, this could mark the gradual return of rest and relief for us. Neptune also rules art, music, fiction, movies, leisure activities like gaming, spiritual pursuits, long journeys and vacations, addictions and escapism, faith, and other things that nourish or feed the soul. So, these things will likely return to our lives starting this week, in a gradual sense. In connection with Neptune, personally I've been into this beautiful and awesome game called Journey, and I've been watching a couple of Bond films recently. So, this restful and reflective energy, I believe, will support the coming of the next eclipse. Because the next eclipse is no longer connected to day-to-day matters, but to matters requiring more thought and reflection and creativity. So as a whole, you probably have ideas right now relating to a creative project Or maybe you want to learn something new. Maybe you want to add some more meaning into your life that went away when you were too busy and focused on the here and now. Maybe you want to get a sense of freedom back into your life, of being yourself again and seeking things that nourish your soul. Those days are coming. Meanwhile, maybe you've been putting off some long term plans or projects, like coursework. And maybe you've been neglecting a big picture problem, and now it's become impossible to ignore. So, pretty soon, you're gonna have to go address those issues again and work on them. I'll be making a separate video to go deeper into this solar eclipse and how it affects the 12 signs personally. And finally, there's this fight for freedom. With the incoming Sagittarius energy, we're also feeling a little antsy for freedom. Sagittarius is all about freedom. Have you ever tried to make a Sagittarius commit or stay in one place? We know how hard that can be. So that's why across the world, we're seeing an increasing number of disgruntled people who are getting tired of the restrictions and they're now fighting for freedom. As I said, this is just the beginning of this because the solar eclipse is about to come and its effects will last 5 to 6 months. And these restrictions are ramping up this December. That's because around Christmas time, we'll have the final exact pass of Saturn squaring Uranus, which is the transit I believe is responsible for the restrictions in this past year. And this holiday season, it's going to have its last exact hit, which I think is a good thing. Maybe after this holiday season, the restrictions will be reduced, or we'll feel a little bit freer in general. I'll probably make another video on Saturn square Uranus. But overall, we're entering this time where we have this influx of freedom-loving energy clashing against this restrictive energy. And since the restrictive energy will have its final wave around Christmas, the freedom-loving energy will probably win. Aside from freedom, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter is also concerned with ideals, truths, morals, ethics, and beliefs in ideas that grow the mind and expand knowledge, because those are ruled by Jupiter. And with esoteric Neptune going direct as well, combined with other astrological factors, I believe we're some interesting times ahead. Interesting times where much would be revealed in the fight for freedom. I think there will be many opportunities to search for truth, meaning, and purpose in the coming months. Since we're talking about beliefs, there could be some disillusionments as well. We're going to come face to face with some of our core beliefs and question them. And this week will only mark the beginning of it. I find this quite exciting. In sum, we're experiencing the turning of the tides. This week will only mark the beginning of a chapter that will last a couple of months. Just remember to look at the bright side, as Sagittarius energy invites us to do. And don't forget your ideals and beliefs. That's it. Thanks for watching. The astrology updates for the week of November 29th to December 5th for all signs. Please like and subscribe if you like this. Thanks.